ready to start filming? Yeah, I'm not sure what that banging was. Cool. Opening credits! Oh, and before I forget, a huge shout out to all my little friends at Thornton Primary School. Hi guys! Keep going with the credits. Hi everyone, Calum here. As you can see, we're not in the studio today.
It's just a green shower curtain in the bog.
It's studio. Okay? No, we're in my living room. And we're staring out the window because we're looking for dinosaurs. Now, you might not know it, but there are actually over 10,000 species of dinosaurs alive. That's tons compared to the mere 6,500 species of mammals. In fact, I think I see one just there. Oh, I think it looked at us. Okay, 1 second. Yep. There's definitely a dinosaur down there. I don't think he saw us. No, but the dinosaur that we've seen there, it's a theropod dinosaur. That's the group of dinosaurs that includes things like Allosaurus and T-Rex. I'll see if I can get a better look, okay? Yep, it's a theropod dinosaur, and it actually belongs to a group called Maniraptors. Now, that should be a bit scary because Maniraptors are the group that includes dinosaurs like Velociraptor. Okay, I'm going to try and get a photo with my phone for the binoculars, and then we can go back to the studio and have a look at it, okay? Here we go. Right, here we go. Alright, there we go. Okay, I think I got one. Okay, and once again, don't think he saw us. Okay, back to the studio. Welcome back to the studio, everyone. I think we should probably take a look at that picture I took of a dinosaur. Are you ready? Ta-da! No, I've not went quackers. This is a picture of a duck. And ducks are dinosaurs. In fact, all modern birds are dinosaurs. And in order to get a better understanding of this, I think we should have a look at the ancestor of modern birds. But before we go any further, I'd like to point out that things like this aren't the ancestor of modern birds. This is a pterosaur, and pterosaurs aren't even dinosaurs. They lived at the same time and flew in the skies, but that's about all they've got in common with them. Phew. The real ancestor, or close to the ancestor of modern birds, is this thing. It's creatures like this, a dinosaur called Archaeopteryx. Now, Archaeopteryx was for a long time considered to be one of the earliest known birds. And you can see why. It's got wings like a bird and feathers like a bird. You can see these impressions in the fossil. However, if you look at the skeleton, it's got a long bony tail like a dinosaur, it's got claws on its wings like a dinosaur, and instead of a beak, it's got a mouth full of teeth. Now, Archaeopteryx isn't the ancestor of modern birds, but it's probably pretty close to what that thing looked like. It's fossils like Archaeopteryx that helped to form pieces in the puzzle that allowed scientists to work out that dinosaurs are still alive. And the reason they're still alive and birds are classified as dinosaurs is all to do with how we name things. So any descendant of a type of animal is also a type of that animal. So for instance, I'm a human, I'm also a mammal. Mammals are synapsids, and synapsids are tetrapods, and technically if you want to keep going down that rabbit hole, tetrapods are fish, so I'm a fish. But that's going a bit too far down. Birds are definitely dinosaurs. And in fact, when we learned that birds were descended from dinosaurs, and in fact are dinosaurs, we realised that actually quite a lot of dinosaurs didn't look like what we thought they did. So a lot of dinosaurs were rather bird-like. Take Velociraptor, for example. Velociraptor belongs to the same group of dinosaurs as birds. It's a theropod dinosaur, and going further down, it's a maniraptor, just like birds. They share lots of common traits, including wings and feathers. That's right, Velociraptor looked less like the horrible movie monster and more like this guy. That's right, Chris Pratt, eat your heart out. I've got my very own Velociraptor. Kind of cute, aren't you? Yeah, now one of the first things you'll probably notice about Velociraptor is that it doesn't really look like it does in the movies, does it? No, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get off the camera! Stop! Down! 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 Good boy. Velociraptor doesn't really look like it looked in the movies. It was quite a small dinosaur. In fact, it was about the size of a big turkey. Like, a murder turkey though. And that's not where the similarities ended. It was completely feathered, and so were its relatives, and it even had wings like a bird. We know this because we found fossils, a bit like Archaeopteryx fossils, that preserve feather impressions around the skeletons of these dinosaurs. Now, feathers weren't just the preserve of Velociraptor and its close relatives. Things like T-Rex and other dinosaurs, called coelurosaur theropod dinosaurs, all preserve signs of feathers in their families. Now, we've also got a lot of evidence for scales in dinosaurs as well. So things like T-Rex, for instance, and big dinosaurs like Diplodocus or Brachiosaurus probably had scales. And that's because feathers are really good at keeping small animals warm, which is maybe one of the reasons dinosaurs evolved feathers. However, if you're a big animal, you might overheat and die. So T-Rex probably didn't look like a 40-foot long chicken. Which is a good thing, because that's pretty terrifying actually. No, we also find feather-like structures on the complete other side of the dinosaur family tree. We find them in ornithopods, and we also find them in little things like this. So this is the skull of a dinosaur called Psittacosaurus. And Psittacosaurus is a close-ish relative of a very famous one, Triceratops. Now, on the back of the tail of Psittacosaurus, we found preserved quill-like structures, a bit like porcupine quills. Now, scientists are still debating whether these have anything to do with the feathery, furry substances we find in the theropod dinosaurs, but if they are feathers, then this could suggest that the ancestor of Triceratops and T-Rex had feathers. And that's quite far down the dinosaur family tree, meaning that some of the very first dinosaurs would have had feathers. And there's been even weirder suggestions. So pterosaurs, like the one you met earlier, they were covered in fur. And they share a common ancestor with dinosaurs. So if those structures, the fur on pterosaurs and the feathers on dinosaurs, were kind of the same, this could suggest that their common ancestor had feathers. The more we learn about birds being dinosaurs, the more we learn that dinosaurs and their relatives were quite bird-like. Now, if you're still not convinced and think this is just a matter of how we name them, I'll put it to you another way. T-Rex, definitely a dinosaur. Stegosaurus, also definitely a dinosaur. However, T-Rex is more closely related to a chicken, yes, a chicken, than it is to Stegosaurus. T-Rex also lived closer in time to a chicken, yes, a chicken, than it did to Stegosaurus. So if T-Rex and Stegosaurus get to be dinosaurs, and a chicken is more closely related to T-Rex than a Stegosaurus is, I would say that a chicken gets to be a dinosaur too. Now, I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about dinosaurs today. Just remember though that you don't need to worry about bumping into any big, what we call non-avian dinosaurs when you're walking down the street. They all disappeared about 65 million years ago when a big rock from space crashed into the Earth near what is now present-day Mexico. But if you do want to see the modern birds, the avian dinosaurs, why don't you go out into the garden and snap some photos? And you can pop them up on the iNaturalist app, which we're using for Backyard Bioblitz on the 5th and 6th of June. There's more details on how you can use iNaturalist down below. But for now, oh no. I've got wee on me. Yeah, it must have been from the pterosaur. I didn't notice at the time because the P is silent. Anyway, I've been Calum. Bye just now. Ah! I'm eating my dinosaur!